Today I will be preparing some seasoned chicken, seasoned rice, and mixed vegetables. But I'm going to show you what to do first in order to get everything started. So now we're going to go to the chicken. I usually do chicken thighs, but today we're going to do some chicken rings. But my wife likes the wing thing kind of like chicken, so I'm going to cut up the tips. And then I'm going to go straight in the middle and cut this up. Try not to get the bone, of course, but that was pretty bad. So we're going to try to do another one. Now, I know a lot of people wash their chicken before they start preparing it. Now, that's your option if you like that or not, but personally, I don't like it because you get the germs everywhere, but it is what it is. You do what you want, whatever feels good to you and comfortable. I think I will cook them enough that it will, of course, kill all the bacteria with cooking them, but I just don't like that taste of water, like cleaning water or something like that. So now that we have our chicken cut up the way I want them to, we are going to use the seasonings that I will prepare for this. So I like to make sure that everything is in a container, and I have my seasonings already prepared out. I'm going to open them up and get this out the way. Sometimes you can put them in the bowl as well and mix them together. Maybe I'll do that in the future. But I like the eyeball thing, so I'm going to say use teaspoons or tablespoons. Just eyeball what you want, because it's preferably your seasoning. So you can, if you want them not too salty, then don't make them too salty. If you want them salty, then make them salty. It's up to you. What I also learned is that some baking powder, when you cook them, because I'm making them in the grill. This is going to be, not the grill, the oven. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder to this. So yeah, I am going to measure it with teaspoons. So you don't want to overdo it. So the trick is to, and yeah, don't mind that mess right there. The trick is to coat them with some olive oil or even oil, whatever you have, so it won't be completely like, and you want them wet, but you want them coated with some oil. So I have this little fancy thing here from Amazon. I'm just going to mix them up. Now you notice I'm just doing it with one hand for right now, because I'm going to use this other hand to mix in the seasonings. So you want one hand contaminated and one hand not. Now usually, of course, you wear gloves, but I'm cheap. I don't have gloves right now. I'll get gloves later in my next video. This is a nice even coat. Now, like I said, I eyeball things, but you usually do want to do particular measurements, but I'm going to eyeball it. So I like to do the adobo. Season it through, right on top. And I can never get this right, but this is the one. I use this as well, too. Saison there. Yeah, that's it. My friend used this before, and I love every bit. It just opened my eyes. It opened my eyes, I'm telling you. And then I'm going to start with 1 packet of Saison. Now, usually I do like to wear gloves when I use this, but because the red gets on your hand like the tint. But you wash your hands, and that's one thing too. You say I don't have my running ring on or anything. If you're using your hands, just take off your running ring. I'm telling you, because even though you wash your hands so much, the bacteria still is on your ring. And the reason why I like to use this, not just because of the flavor, because of that tint. I like that tint. Now that we have our chicken in the fridge doing its thing, we're going to go to the vegetables. And as you see, I already pre-cut the vegetables, but we also have this nice cutter. My wife got it. I'm still trying to get used to doing it, but it's actually pretty good. I have to admit, I do like this. So, I'm going to start off with the cut stuff that I have. I'm going to start with the onions, and this is the older onion that I had. Oops. It would be nice to add this. This is... Okay, now that we have the thing in there, that's actually the best part about this. Bad boys, look at that. Look at that right there. Nice and cut. And keep going. And as you see, I like to do onions, green peppers, red peppers. Onions, green... Because it's just the color. I just like the color. I know, call me weird, but I just like the way it turns out. And I use the ends and everything. Of course, take the seeds out. Geez, take the seeds out. That is important. And you see how fast this bad is? It's a pain to clean sometimes. Sometimes. But if you go fast enough and push this bad boy down, should be no problem. Look at that. I'm almost done. The only thing I had to do was cut half of it. And let this do its work. Look at that. Now, this is going to be for the seasoned rice I'm going to do. I like to put vegetables in the rice, and you're seeing, but I'm not going to use all of this. I'm going to use the vacuum seal and vacuum the rest of these so I can have these for later. Because you want to have to prepare, to make everything easy, you want to have prepared stuff already done for you. And since I got this, I'm not using all this. I'm just going to use half of it. But I'm going to leave this in this container and put this in the fridge. I'm going to put that in the fridge so when we need it, I have it. The only thing I got to cut is the green onions, or scallions, or whatever. Now, I don't like to put too much in there, but I do like them cooked. Some people use them as like a garnish, but I like them also cooked. So I'm just going to do just a little bit, not a lot, because you don't need a lot. Because we already have onions in there. I just like this taste to it. Oops, towel fell down. I just like the taste to it. That's it. And remember, always wash your hands and clean your counters, especially when you're dealing with meat. Now I have this. I'm just going to put this right in here. Well, I will use this again later on. They last a long time. So now that I have my green onions, just vegetables in general, I have all this set. I'm going to wait a little bit, and then we're going to put the chicken into the oven, and I'll see you later. Okay, now that we have our chicken marinated and we have our vegetables here, we have our pan. And what I like to do is put on medium heat and let the pan get a little hot, which has been on for a couple of minutes already. And then we're just going to pour some oil in here, just a little bit. Let it coat it up a little bit. Let it get hot a little bit as well too. There we have our rice. Uncle Ben's, but I like to put it in the pretzels, of course, because it can store better. And I usually do 2 cups, but because I'm going to give some to a friend at work, I'm going to make 3 cups of rice. Now, of course, 1 cup equals 2 cups of water to equal the rice. So I'm going to do 3 cups, 6 cups of water, but I'm not going to use just water. I'm going to use chicken broth. and I'm going to use chicken broth to add flavor to it. So I'm going to put my phone down really quick, and I'm going to wash my hands and get everything started. Fortunately, I do not have chicken broth. I forgot to get it, unfortunately. That's what happens. That's okay. However, you can always improvise. I do have this instant chicken bouillon cubes. It's like chicken broth, but you just gotta prepare it first. 1 cube equals 1 cup of water. So I have my water boiling right there while it's gonna get boiled, and we have already prepared the 6 cubes already. And now it's empty, and thank God I had 6. But sometimes, like, even if you have 5, it would have been better. I just want to give some flavor to the rice. So I'm going to pretty much make my own broth with that cup, with the 6 cups that's in this pan right now, 6.5, because just in case if it gets too hot or whatnot, I'm going to add that into the water when it boils. In the meantime, I do have the oven preheated at 350. There we go. 350. I'm going to raise that temperature up to 375 for the chicken, okay? And I'm going to start preparing the rice, and I'm going to mix everything in. And that is including the seasoning, which I will show you exactly, and the vegetables. So I'm going to prepare the seasonings, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Here's the seasonings that I will be using. It's pretty much the same, but minus a couple. But what I will use is that garlic mince. Now, I know a lot of people use the fresh garlic, and I don't blame you. However, though, I'm in a pinch, and I'm going to use some minced garlic and olive oil to continue this, okay? Sometimes it does depend. I might just use 1. If I have to use 2, I will, but if I have to use 1.5, I will as well too, to Saison. This is for the rice too. So, because my wife is currently at church right now, I'm going to put this all into one bowl. And like mentioned before, measure out what you think is appropriate. Teaspoon, tablespoon, it really doesn't matter. It's to your preference, okay? So I'm going to put all this into the bowl, and I'm going to go ahead and add in the cubes, which is right there. There's only 4. The reason why it's only 4 right now, because I didn't put that on the camera, but these are what the cubes look like. And it's just simple. Let it boil, stir it, and then use it as broth afterwards. And as you see, I have my timer. The timer here is pretty much for the rice and chicken. But I'm going to do it for the rice first, because the chicken can take up to 30, maybe 40 minutes. But if I want it crispier, so I'm going to probably do 50. It depends on what your oven is. And this is a pretty old oven. We are planning to get a new one. This is like the wall oven, not my favorite. However, though, that's the goal, to get a new oven and get this bad boy all calibrated. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I have put my 3 cups of rice into the pan, and I put some olive oil on there as well too, as you've seen before. And I'm just going to pretty much toast it up, brown it up first. Make sure all the rice is evenly coated with the oil. Turn it all around. Now I put all my seasoning into a bowl. I'm going to dump it in. And I'm going to stir that bad boy as well too, okay? Now, of course, I'm just working by myself for the time being. So, sorry if the camera's a little out of focus or I'm going crazy. I might have to put you down just to continue this. But, I'm just going to coat the rice with the seasoning first, okay? Until all of it is pretty much in this bad boy. And the chicken bouillon right there with the cubes is pretty much done. And because that's already hot, it might cook a little faster, but that's okay. I usually give the rice 20 to 25 minutes. It does depend on which one you get. This is the enhanced long rice, so it might take a little longer, but medium short rice, you just got to make sure that you have your own time frame. That's it. So now that everything is pretty much in here, I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to just chug it in. You see everything's all mixed up. And remember that I said I won't probably use everything here, and I won't. This is a lot of vegetables into the rice, but then I'm going to go ahead and stir everything up and see exactly what we got. Because when I like to make seasoned rice, I like to make it with, of course, with seasonings, but I like to make it with the vegetables. And I always pick 3 onions, green peppers, red peppers, yellow peppers, the scale, and well, the green onions, of course. So that's 4. But as long as you have 3 in there, because it does add that flavor to it too. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now, I have everything right here pretty much mixed up. You hear the browning in there. And of course, this is all going to be on medium heat. You don't want it on high at the time right now. We're only going to put it on high when we add that water and the bouillon. We're going to add that, and then we're going to put it on high until it boils. But what I do have is that 1 teaspoon of mixed garlic. Now I'm going to go ahead and stir everything in here. Now, if you want it hotter, you can add more of the paprika or even chili powder to it. Some people don't like it like that. My wife and I, we like it a little hot, but some people do not. So if you're making it for like a, like a get together or something, I would probably won't add too much, or maybe don't add any chili powder to it, to whatever you have going on here. Now I'm going to cook this a little bit longer, maybe even 1 more minute to get everything browned. And then I'm going to add in the broth. Now that everything looking pretty brown, it's looking pretty brown. I'm going to just already measure this out. So everything's already measured. I'm just going to go ahead and add it right in there. It's already hot. So it's going to boil a little bit at first, but it's going to calm itself down. I like to give it another little stir here. And we're going to keep this bad boy like this until it gets very hot. Let this bad boy boil. Stir it around there too. The vegetables will come back up top, but that's why you want this to pretty much like after everything is like said and done, you can stir the vegetables right back into everything. But the vegetables will come up top. And you know you're doing a good job because you start to smell it, like the seasonings with the rice too. And with the vegetables. And look how much vegetables I still have left over too. I'm definitely going to save that. I'm not going to waste that. I'm going to package this bad boy in a vacuum seal. Maybe 2 of them. Divide them. And I'm going to use this for other, like, cooking. So, there you go. Now, it's coming to a boil. I'm going to cover it. I'm going to put this on low. It takes about 20-25 minutes. Give or take. It depends though. But you want your rice to look either... You definitely want your rice cooked. But it depends if you want it dry, if you want it mushy. Some people like the mushy rice. Technically, I like them in between. It's weird, I know. But you'll see after when everything is done. Now it's coming to the boil. I'm going to cover this bad boy up. I'm going to stir it one more time. Just one more time. Because you see how the seasons right here is coming up a little bit. Not all of it, but just a little bit. I'm going to stir it one more time. Look at that. And it smells delicious. It does smell good. And of course, you do not need to use chicken broth. You can use regular water. The seasonings from this will make that flavor. But since we have a chicken, I'm going to add some chicken broth to it too. Okay. Now I'm going to turn this bad boy on low, and then I'm going to cover it. And then we're going to start with the chicken. Okay, now that I have my rice on right now, which won't take long, I put it on the 25-minute timer right there, but also separated the chicken onto the racks as well too. Now, of course, you can use little pans like these right here. Not a problem. It's just that the chicken will probably cook great. It'll be like crispy up top, but not so underneath too. It depends if you want it just like that, because some of the juices give flavor. But I want these bad boys to be crispy, especially on top and on the bottom. So that's why I got these racks. And of course, this one doesn't fit. You work with what you got. So, going back to the oven, nice preheated. Now I have one pan that's actually bigger than the bottom, that one over there. That pan is a little smaller. So I'm going to put this bad boy right here. Then I'm going to put this bad boy right on top. And I have everything spaced out. Alright, now we're going to see what it looks like after it's done. I got flip-flops on. You have everything cooking. It's important to also clean up at the same time too. A lot of people don't like cooking because it's the cleanup, and especially it's the cleanup afterwards. But if you clean up during your way, things will be easy. This is already clean. I'm going to clean these as well too. Of course, you know, I'll wash my hands afterwards. That's the most important thing. But this is the vacuum sealer that I was referring to. Very easy. Close it up. Vacuum them up. And then I'm going to put the date on it when I prepare the food. So this date will be for today. And I'm going to give it another maybe a week or so, maybe 2 weeks, so I can use it again. But now I'm not wasting any food. The vegetables be in there. So if I want to use it, or if my wife wants to use it, it'll be already prepared for her. She might have to defrost it. Or you can cook it right into the pan, no matter what you do. But if you clean up, as long as you go, things will be a lot easier. So I'm going to clean up, wait for this rice to get done first, which will get done first. Which we got this bad boy in here, and it smells delicious. The rice will be done before the chicken, but because we have the rice covered, it will still be nice and hot. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of the cleanup process, put this in the freezer, and I'll be right back to you. So next we have our vegetables. No lie, I won't be honest with you, I used the steam bags today. Steamed corn, easy, 5 minutes in the microwave, that's it. I'm going to cut it open. And I'm going to put it in a bowl with some butter, with some salt and pepper. And I'm going to just stir it up, make sure everything is definitely good to go and tasteful. That we have our corn all mixed up with the butter, salt and pepper. We're going to take a look at the rice one more time, which is still hot. You see that steam coming up? It's been done for almost 20-30 minutes. And the reason why I like to cook my rice first, because sometimes I just can't really gauge if I want them dry or like moist. But like I said before, I like them right in between. And now we have our corn and rice. Now, let's take a look at the chicken. There we go, guys. It's looking good. Let's take these bad boys out, let it cool down for a little bit. I would say about 5 minutes. Now, I did say that it would take about 40 minutes for it to cook, but I left them in there for about 50-55 minutes. Because I said this oven's a little cold. I had to turn the temperature up just a little bit. But, as you see, it's looking good. Alright. Let's let these bad boys cool down for a couple minutes. Okay, this is the final product. We got some chicken, corn, rice. Now, of course, the corn bag, but if you're in a rush, that's the best thing you can do. And my wife is hungry because she's saying, stop and hurry up because it smells so darn good. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if there's any tips that I didn't see that you want to give me, please put them in the comments. Have a good day.